Ready? One of the things I think, like one of the lessons I learned early on in my leadership was the difference between grace and passivity. And I think you have to understand the difference between grace and passivity in your leadership journey too. You can't have grace without confrontation. You see, grace is something you give after you've confronted somebody and said, hey, listen, these are the things in your life, but I'm going to give you a pass. I'm going to give you grace necessary in order for you to grow. Without that, you don't have grace. You have passivity. And a lot of times what we have is we have leaders who are more passive than they are gracious. And so they call themselves passive, or they call themselves gracious because there will be a problem with so-and-so on your team, and you're overlooking it. If you're overlooking it, that's passive, right? You have to be addressing these things. And then when you address them, you say, hey, Bob, hey, Melissa, listen, there's a challenge. I've been asking you to do X, or we've been calling you higher and you haven't been doing that. But I'm going to give you grace on this, but I need you to move up. That's grace. When Bob or Melissa are taking advantage, showing up late, and you're not addressing it, they're not doing their part, they're not pulling their weight, and you're not addressing it, and you feel like they just need grace, you might actually be passive, not gracious. And so you have to ask yourself, am I willing to address these topics inside of the workplace, inside of my team, or am I just literally being passive about these topics? Don't be passive. Be willing to confront, be willing to address, and then give grace. But you cannot have grace if you are not willing to confront a topic.